presentations? My laptop cannot. Okay, no. Okay, can. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Very good afternoon, dear sisters and brothers. I wish that you are now in the best of health and iman. Yeah, so we can meet again in very nice occasion today. Before we start, I would like to show you the course outline. Yeah, we go to the syllabus of this course. Could you see, please, the my class, sisters, brothers? Can you see the screen in the screen? The my class in the screen?
No. No.
Not yet,
No.
sir.
Not yet. Oh, okay. Okay, let me just cancel back and then show you again. Okay, can you see, sisters, brothers, the screen?
Not yet.
Not, sir.
Not yet.
Not.
Not, sir.
Okay, now can, yes. Okay, can you unmute your voice, sisters, brothers, there? Okay, we can see now. Okay, you can see in your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sisters and brothers, now I will show you my class, by the way, here. My question is, this week is going to be third week or fourth week? Hello?
Third.
Third week or fourth week, sisters? Third week. Okay, third week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're supposed to be in here. Yeah, you're supposed to be here. But last week we had learned about this issue about measuring economic performance. And now I'm going to a bit quickly to the fourth week, fourth meeting about measuring costs. Yeah. So you will have your test competency on the next week, by the way, sisters and brothers. Yeah, next. So next week you will. Oh, sorry, next week. Sorry, next week. So next week you're supposed to have test competency 1. Whereby this test competency 1 will cover the previous material about this one. Any question before we start?
No, sir.
Okay, if there's no questions, we can discuss, and the slide has been uploaded in the MS Teams, yeah, because my class a little bit slow and quite dizzy somehow, yeah. So I just put and use the MS Team. Okay, let me go to the slide, please. Could you open, please, your slide, sisters and brothers? Okay, here we are going to have measuring the cost of living. Yeah, I do believe that all of you here seems to feel that your living cost is higher and higher gradually time by time. When you're a child, you feel that your cost of living is quite cheap, yeah, but now gradually increasing. Even you cannot purchase the same goods by using the same money today compared to the few years ago. So I think this issue is quite important for you in order to understand why this cost of living is always increasing time by time. Yeah. And here is the cost of living. In this case, we need all sort of things to life, yeah, because we know that we have so many needs and so many wants, yeah, in our daily activities. And these things are typically not free. So because all of the needed necessity that you have somehow is not free goods, but they are considered as the economic goods. Whereby if you want to get this good, you need to sacrifice your money, isn't it? Even for your education as well. Your education is considered to be the economic goods. So the cost of the education yearly gradually increasing all the times, because of the education is not free, but it has economic values that need to be sacrificed by all of you. And the question is, how are we to measure the cost of living the way we? So you are now directed to understand how you understand, measure, and maybe evaluate your personal costs. Yeah, so that you can anticipate the unprecedented activities, yeah, in the future. And here is some other questions. Could you please read this one, Brother Rian? The Q&A. Could you please read the question and answers, please, Rian?
Okay, sir. Why do we need to know the cost of living? To see whether our incomes are keeping up with the cost of living.
Yeah, so the question is quite simple. Yeah, why you should know and must know the cost of living concept. Because if you discuss about this issue, sisters and brothers, you will also discussing about your personal income. Your parents right now are working very hard, yeah, in order to fulfill your basic needs. Yeah, and by the way, the income that they earn, yeah, monthly, must be complied with the cost of living that they must spend in every month, whether balance or deficit or surplus. So these are questions now. Yeah. So the cost of living must be dealt with the level of income. Yeah. The next one. I just remind you about the previous chapter. Yeah. In the chapter 5, the last week, yeah, we saw that the GDP deflator gives us one number that represents the overall level of the prices of all domestically produced final goods and services. I think you still remember last week that you had learned about GDP, nominal GDP, real GDP, GDP deflator, yeah, whereby GDP deals with the domestically produced final goods and services in a particular year. But not all final goods are booked by customers, yeah, by consumers, yeah. So not all the final good here that mentioned in chapter 5 purchased by all of you. Only some of them. For example, if you talk about GDP, we talk about consumption, investment, government spending, and foreign activities or trade. And not all the final good of these four sectors are purchased by all of you. Maybe you just deals about the first sectors, namely consumptions. Investment, government spending, and trade are not conducted by you, but conducted by other sectors. Yeah. And the third one, we now need one number that represents the overall level of the prices of all goods that are typical consumers buy. So in order to measure the cost of living, by the way, sisters and brothers, we need to list down some physical goods that you commonly and generally use and purchase in order to fulfill your basic needs, or maybe your secondary need or tertiary needs. Yeah. So in order to measure that the cost of living, that dealing with your customer buying, we need to measurement tools called the consumer price index or CPI, index the consumer, whereby the extent a particular goods are increasing or rising in a monthly basis or yearly basis. Yeah. The next one, sisters, the CPI is a measure of the overall cost of the goods and services bought by a typical consumer. Yeah. So here, when the CPI rises, I will show you until this the examples. Yeah. When the CPI rises, the typical family has to spend more dollars to maintain the same standard of living. And normally, the CPI is released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or in Indonesia, we call it BPS, Badan Pusat Statistik, reports that he reports CPI monthly basis. You can just open this website in the case of US, and it is used to monitor changes in the cost of living over time. So the CPI here is containing a basket of goods, sisters and brothers, that if the CPI index increasing, it does mean that the cost to purchase this good also increasing, because the changes of the cost or the prices will be captured by the CPI. Yeah. Okay. I just give you an example. Could you please open the Bank Indonesia website? I will show you here how the CPI very important. Yeah. Okay. I will just cancel this one first. And please open Bank Indonesia website. Bank Indonesia. Okay, I will just show you the CPI in the case of Indonesia. Okay, here. Okay, here Bank Indonesia official website, Central Bank of Indonesia. Here, click this website. If you can operate your internet, we are opening the Central Bank website. The Central Bank of Indonesia is is the central banks that regulating the inflation. Here you see, sisters and brothers, in the left-hand side, here is the summary of the existing situation of Indonesian economy. Yeah. So we have here the Indonesian exchange rate, how much against US dollars. Yeah. You can see here 14,000, and the interest rate here 4%. The reserve of Indonesia, $135 million. Yeah. Inflations, you see IHK, Index Harga Konsumen or Consumer Price Index, YOY, means year on year. Since September 2020 is 142%. Inflation target 3% plus minus 1%. Yeah. And how we see the details of this one? Could you please open your menu here? Yeah, in the Bank Indonesia menu. Yeah, you can open through SECI, Statistik Ekonomi dan Keuangan Indonesia. Yeah, you can open this website. Yeah, and this website will show you here. Okay, it also available in English. Okay, I will change in English. So brother Ahmed Abdul here can join and follow. Okay, here is the English versions. Indonesian financial statistic. Yeah, from statistic menu you can just move to the Indonesian financial statistic. Yeah, and if you click here, you can see me here, and please click the external sector. Real sectors. Okay, please click real sectors. Okay, you can see here, sisters and brothers. Gross domestic product in the first place, and the second place is prices. The prices here comprises composite consumer price index of 90 cities. It does mean that the CPI here are measured in 90 different cities across Indonesia. And here, if you see in the brackets, 2018 equal to 100. It does mean that 2018 is the best year. Okay, you can just select either in the Excel format or PDF format. I just open in the PDF format. Okay, I cannot be opened here. Okay, just I open here through the Excel. Okay, opened. You can also try by your own, sisters and brothers. You can see the practical application of the CPI in the case of data here. Very long. Anybody can open the data there?
I
Okay.
can, sir.
Yes, if you can open, you just go through, sisters and brothers. Yeah, I am now opening the file. So you can know the practical of the CPI, not only in theoretical aspect, but also in the practical aspects. So you can link and match between the theory and practice. And perhaps you need this data for your personal understanding, your personal analysis, and your personal maybe observations. Yeah. Okay, here I can see now. Yeah. I will just take it out the slide and back to the Excel. Okay, I can see, I can open the Excel for you in the screen. Okay, here, sisters and brothers. You can see from the Excel, this Excel basically obtained by through central bank just now. And here, the left-hand side here is the Indonesian versions, and the right-hand side here, the English version. So you can see both of them. You can see from the food, beverage, and tobacco, the right side, clothing and footwear, until whatever sectors here, personal care and other services, yeah. Respectively, they have their own index. Here the index, yeah. And the index here represents the prices are changing monthly. And here is the percentage, yeah, the percentage here. 0.46, 0.41, for example, yeah, for the personal care. And if you want to see the general, the overall, not only by sectors, but you want to see the general, you can just see the general here. The index are shown here, the index of general, and you can see the change. Yeah, the change could be in the form of monthly. You want to see the monthly basis, or you want to know the calendar basis, yearly. Yeah, yearly here, count calendar. Yeah, calendar means the same, yeah, the same here. Oh yeah, calendar here, yeah, calendar, and year or year. Year or year means existing October compared to the previous October, yeah, year or year. So you can see the difference. What does it mean? For example, here, the last one here, what's that? September 2020. The year or year changes in percentage 1.42. Yeah. So what does it mean? 1.42. Yeah. Yeah. It does mean that here, this month compared to the previous month, the price has changed around 1.42% here. Yeah. So if you see here the percentage changing, yeah. So you compare this year compared to the last year. If you use the month here, monthly, month to month, from September compared to the August, yeah, whereby this one, the September is negative 0.05%. It means that the price of this month is cheaper compared to the price of the last year, generally. Yeah. So this is the applications, sisters, the practical application, how you read the data. Any questions before we continue, please? Any questions? No questions? Okay. I will continue now to this slide again. You can understand this. Time goes by. You have known already how to download that one. Okay, I go back to the slides now. Okay, this one is the just now. The next one, this next slide. This is the applications in the case of US. Yeah, I think you have already understood before by using Indonesian case. And here is the data of time series data. You can see from the CPI, yeah, from the CPI, you can see the graphs, yeah, increasing year by year. So from this graph, you can infer that the cost of living of your life is increased year by year. So it does mean that the purchasing power of your money is diminished, yeah, year by year. The cost of living is expensive, yeah, more expensive, yeah. And the next one, how the CPI is calculated, yeah. So from this one, yeah, we have 5 steps. Yeah, we have 5 steps how to calculate the CPI, Consumer Price Index, the index that you saw from the Excel just now. The first is you have to fix the basket. What does it mean? Figure out what is in the basket of goods that the typical consumers buy. In the case of Indonesia, in the case of Excel that you downloaded just now, you can see the list of baskets that observe and use as the observations to measure the CPI. You have clothes, yeah, you have personal cares, yeah, you have also the house, yeah, and others. This is the list of baskets. And the second one, find the prices paid by the typical consumer for the goods in the basket. So how much the price that the consumer would pay for that respective baskets? Yeah, for example, how much the clothes that you will buy? Is it the same price with the same goods? Yeah, in every time or difference? The third one, compute the basket cost. I will see you the details one by one after this slide. And the fourth one, choose the base year and compute the CPI for all years and compute the inflation rate for all years. In the end, you will get the percentage, how much the changes of the price in a year or in a month. Here are the details. Yeah. Could you please read? I want to hear the voice of Naufal. Naufal, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Could you please read in the screen, Naufal?
How the consumer price index is calculated. Fix in the basket. Determine that basket of goods the typical consumer buys. The Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS identifies a market basket of goods and services the typical consumer buys. The BLS conduct monthly consumer survey to get the weight for the price of those goods and services.
Okay, Naufal. So as I mentioned before, that the fix the basket means the surveyors of the Bureau of Labor Statistics will survey and identify what the basket of goods and services that typically consumer buys. In the case of Indonesia, you can see the list yet based on the Excel sheet that you got just now. The first one. The second one, this one is the examples. Yeah. Home percentage, the wage, yeah, you can see the wage here. Housing is the most dominant sectors, yeah, purchased by the consumers, by the way, based on the survey. The second one, find the prices. I want to hear the voice of Barik Argiba, please.
Yes, sir. How the consumer price index is calculated. Find the prices. Find the price of each of the goods and services in the typical consumer basket at each point in time. These prices are the prices paid by the typical consumer.
Okay. Once you have already set what the goods of basket that you want to survey, the second one, you need to know how much the price of the basket respectively. Yeah. The second one, the third one, I want to hear the voice of Nuha. Nuha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please.
How the consumer price index is calculated. Compute the basket cost. Use the data on prices to calculate the cost of the typical consumer's basket in different years.
Okay, so it means that you set the prices and the good in various years. Look like the time series, not only this years, but also the previous years and previous years. So you know already the trend, yeah, whether the trend increasing, decreasing, or constant. This is the third step. The fourth step, Brother Abdurrahman. Brother, are you there, brother?
Yes, sir.
Could you please read the fourth step, brother?
Okay. How the consumer price index is calculated? Choose a base year and compute the CPI. Designate a particular year as the base year, making in the benchmark against which other years are compared. Compute the CPI for a given year as follows. Divide the cost of the typical consumer's basket in the given year by the cost in the base year. Multiply the result by 100%.
Thank you, brother Abdurrahim. You clearly read the fourth step. You see, this is the system, brothers. Just now you open the Excel. You can see the informations in the Excel that the base year is 2018, isn't it? So based on this data, you are given to understand that the calculation of the inflations are used 2018 as the base year. So all of the year will be referred to the 2018 year performance. Yeah. So how we determine the benchmark? Yeah. So the benchmark basically are selected by several reasons. The main reasons somehow the base year is chosen because of the more stable year. The more stable year usually are selected as the base year. Yeah, and all of the price will refer to the 2018 prices, and then it will be standardized, yeah, and multiplied by the 100 in order to get the index. Yeah. I don't want to detail out this one because you will learn again here the advanced macro. Yeah, this is just introductions. Yeah, not in details. The last one here, the last about the inflation rate. Brother Madiba, are you there? Madiba? Okay, Madiba. Oh, Madiba. Okay, sorry. Are you okay? Can you hear my voice? And can you please read the fifth step, brother?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. How the consumer price index is calculated?
Yes, continue, brother.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you clearly. Please continue.
Compute the inflation rate. The
Yeah.
inflation for a given year is the percentage in the CPI from the preceding period.
Yeah.
The inflation rate in year 2 is equals to CPI in year 2 minus CPI in year 1, all divided by CPI in year 1 multiplied by 100.
Okay. Brother Madibo, by the way, are you in your house or outside?
Yeah, here is our compound.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So here you can see, sisters, brothers, compute the inflation rate as you see in the Excel just now. Yeah. So the inflation actually is obtained through the CPI calculations by conducting the simple calculation, CPI of the year 2 minus CPI year 1 over CPI in year 1 times 100. So those are the steps that must be conducted in order to measure the inflation rate, or the cost of living. Here, this is the numerical examples. Yeah. Step 1: survey consumers to determine the fixed basket of goods. Basket 4 hot dogs, for example, 2 hamburgers. Step 2: find the price of each good in each year. So, for example, you have 3 subsequent years, 16 until 18. You have known the price already, and you have known the price of the second goods, for example, here. And the step 3: compute the cost of the basket of good in each year. So you just multiply the price and the output, the number of output, yeah, the number of goods. 4 times here, yeah, for the hamburger, yeah, from the different here. The total price of total basket in particular year, 8, 14, and 20. This is just the simple examples. Yeah. In reality, you have so many, or 100 or 1,000 basket of goods. This is just the example. And step 4, choose one as the base year and compute the CPI in each year. For example, here we select 2016 as your base year. So automatically, if you select 2016 as your base year, it will be 100, because this is the main year, reference year. Yeah. And the second year, 2019, will be 14 over 8 times 100. So this step 4 is related with the previous steps. Yeah, you have 175. And 2018, the same steps, 20 over 8, because 8 is your base year, and you get 250. And the last one, use the CPI, this one that you obtain, yeah, to compute the inflation rate from previous years. So how much the inflation rate 2017? 175 minus 100 over 100, you have 75%. So it means that the price of these two goods has increased 75% in the yearly basis. Yeah. So the inflation is quite high here in this case. Yeah. And also 2018, also 43%. Until this way, any questions, sisters, brothers? You have any inquiries or clear? Okay, we can continue then. So here is the inflation rate of USA, yeah, since 1950 until 2015. Yeah, so the price of inflation is fluctuating. Yeah. How the consumer price index is calculated? Another example. Yeah. Base year is 22. Basket of good 22. Cost here, the same basket here. CPI here. Price increase 3% between 2002 and 2004. Yeah. So basically, CPI can inform you to what extent the prices of the goods has increased in the yearly basis. So the more index that you get after the reference index, it means that the cost of living is increasing, and the way around. So if the index here less than 100, your cost of living is not increasing, yeah, but decreasing, yeah, or deflation, we may say, usually not inflation but deflation. And here you can see the video measure inflation through this later on, yeah, through this video. You can just click by your own later. But here we have the problem in measuring the cost of living. Yeah, the CPI is an accurate measure of the selected goods that make up the typical bundle, but it is not a perfect measure of the cost living. Yeah, why? The problem is because of it has three different weaknesses. Yeah, the first, substitution bias, reduction to new goods, and unmeasured quality changes. Yeah. So the first one is substitution bias. So the essence of this problem come up because of you are, as the customers, has ability to substitute the goods that is considered expensive. Somehow you are looking for the alternative, isn't it? So if one particular good increasing, you look for the goods as the alternative. So this kind of substitution bias somehow makes the CPI is not accurate, yeah, because you have the choice to go to for another goods, yeah, or services, yeah. And the second one, this is just the examples, yeah, you can just read by your own. And introduction to new goods, yeah. Somehow, if the price of particular good increasing, yeah, and the new goods are introduced, yeah, somehow the people will go for the new goods. Assume that this new good is cheaper than the old goods, yeah. So it makes the changes of the CPI did not really represent the changes of the price, because you as customers did not buy the old goods because you prefer to select the new goods because this good is good, standardized, and has the cheaper price in terms of the before goods. Yeah. And the last one is unmeasured quality changes. If the quality of a good rises from 1 year to the next, the value of dollars rises. Yeah. If the quality of a good rises from 1 year to the next year, the value of the dollar rises, even if the price of the goods stay the same. Yeah. So it means that the price increases does not really represent the value of the goods. Yeah. So the good is the same, does not change at all, but why the price increases? It is because of not for the good itself, but of the money itself. So the money, yeah, in your hands seems to be weaker than before. So that the price of money, yeah, will be increasing even though the quality of the goods stay the same. Yeah. Okay, I will read here. If the quality of the good falls from 1 year to the next, the value of the dollar falls, even if the price of the goods stay the same. The BLS tries to adjust the price for constant quality, but such differences are hard to measure. So it means that the goods and the dollars have their own value, actually. They are not really represent the inner value of, yeah, because of the money has their own price. We will discuss it later on in the next chapter about the money and inflation. Yeah. Okay, here is the summarize of the previous one. Yeah. Okay, here we go to the next one. I think last week some of you did not join the class about GDP deflator. Yeah. So GDP deflator actually is the GDP that deflate the inflations out, yeah, from the economy calculations. So the inflation of the GDP in the GDP has been taken out so that the GDP is real, not the nominals. Yeah. Economists and policymakers monitor both the GDP deflator and the consumer price index to measure how quickly prices are rising. Therefore, if you see from the data from Bank Indonesia just now, you see that the CPI, yeah, has the same sectors with the GDP. If you see from the data just now, before you click the CPI data, you can see that the sectors between GDP and CPI, they are in the same sectors. Yeah, because both of them represent what extent the prices are increasing or decreasing. There are, however, two important differences between the indexes. Yeah. Here is the last week, little bit we recall. We discussed the GDP deflator in chapter 5, measuring a nation income, whereby the deflator, GDP deflator is calculated as follows. So nominal GDP of a real GDP times 100. So actually you want to compare between nominal and real. Yeah, we have discussed last week how to measure nominal and real GDP times 100. Yeah, and here is the examples. Yeah, examples of the nominal GDP here. Market value of all final goods and services produced in 2017 at 2017 prices. So the price is following the year nominal. So if you measure to 2018, it means here the red one will be also 2018. Yeah. Market value of all final goods and services produced in 2017 at 29 prices. So it means that this one is the base year. Therefore, the value here is lower compared to the nominal value. So if you time here by 100, you got 300. This is the GDP deflator. Yeah. Here, yeah, the example, deflator, yeah. And here the difference, sisters and brothers. Yeah. So what is the difference? Actually, is the way how they are compared. Yeah. In short, yeah, GDP deflator here, yeah, basically capture all the things, all the goods and services, yeah, in the economy of a particular year. Yeah. So all the goods and services, regardless what consumer buy, what you prefer, what you usually purchase, they not consider that. But the CPI here only consider and calculate the goods and services that you commonly use, you commonly purchase. Yeah, even though the calculation is a look like. Yeah. Here is GDP deflator versus the consumer price index. Yeah, the index for different regions within the country. Yeah, and the producer price index measures the cost of basket of goods and services bought by the firm rather than consumers. So here we have also another measurement system, brothers. By the way, PPI, producer price index. So the good and services that usually produced by the firms. So now from the perspective of the producers price index, PPI. Yeah. And here the difference, yeah. In short, GDP deflator reflects the prices of all goods and services produced domestically. So it means that GDP covers general, very general, all the goods and services, regardless what you consume or what not you consume. But the consumer price index reflects only the prices of all final goods and services purchased by consumers only. So only the good that you commonly used or commonly purchase. Yeah, not all. This is the main difference. Yeah. Okay, could you please read another differences, brother Adisena, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, could you please read the slide soon?
The deflator versus the GDP deflator versus the consumer price index. The consumer price index compares the price of the fixed basket of goods and services to the price of the basket in the base year. Only occasionally does the BLS change the basket. And whereas the GDP deflator compares price of currently produced goods and services to the price of the same goods and services in the base year.
Okay, thank you, Adi, for your reading the slide. From your reading just now, we are more understand that the GDP deflators consists of all goods and services. Yeah. But the CPI here only the goods and services that included in the basket. Yeah, not the overall basket, but only in the basket. Yeah, it means that CPI is more limited to particular goods, not all goods. Yeah. And okay, this one is the questions. Quick check, multiple choice. Yeah. Okay, I want to ask you which one that you consider to be the correct one. Yeah, in terms of answer. I want to hear from Sister Early, Dia Early, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you please read and answer, Dia?
Okay. Quick check multiple choice. If a Pennsylvania raises the price of reflex it sells to the U.S. Army, its price hikes will increase, blah, blah, blah. The answer is...
Yes, for the answer?
I think D, the GDP deflator, but not the CPI.
What the reasons? What the reasons?
Because GDP deflator, wait, sir. I take my notes.
Do you see the answer already?
No.
Okay, so you should know then the reason.
Yeah, because my note. Mana nih?
What the reason?
I don't know, sir.
So you know the answer, you don't know the reasons. I worry that you have know already the answer from the subsequent slides. Okay, I want to hear another voice. I want to hear the reasons. Brother Ilham, are you there, Ilham? Ilham?
Yes, I hear, sir.
Okay, what your answer and why, please?
Yes, I hear, sir.
Yeah, what your answer from this quick check multiple choices question?
Check.
And why? What the answer, brother? E, B, C, D, E. Ilham,
Wait.
are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, what's your answer? Okay, I cannot hear your voice. The last one I want to ask Rafif. Brother Rafif, are you there?
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Rafif? What you answer
Yes.
and why, Brother Rafif, please?
I think because it's Pennsylvania selling rifles to the US, so the GDP deflator is used because it reflects the price of final goods produced domestically, and not the CPI, because CPI only counts the final goods bought by the customers.
Okay, that's very good answers. Yeah, this thing that I'm looking for actually. Yeah, you correctly answers, brother. Yeah, I have mentioned before that the GDP basically counts overall domestically produced goods and services. But why not CPI? Because CPI only calculated part of the GDP that commonly purchased or bought by the consumers. That's very right. Thank you, Rafif. Yeah. This one is the two measures of inflations. Yeah, you can see from this one, deflators and the CPI. The CPI is the blue one, and the deflator is the red one. Yeah, and usually the deflator is lower compared to the CPI. Yeah, because CPI also only reflect particular goods, sum of goods, but deflator reflect overall goods, more broadened goods, in the deflator's GDP. Okay, the next one is the correcting economic variables for the effect of inflations. Yeah. So CPI is used to correct for the effect of inflation when comparing dollars figures from different eras. Yeah. For example, this is the case study. Yeah, case study and will be the real case in your time or your future time or your previous times. Yeah. Example. The CPI, Consumer Price Index, in 1914 equal to 10. And the CPI in 2012 has increased to 230. At the moment, around 100 years ago, Henry Ford paid his workers $5 in a day in 1914. So if the Henry Ford still alive and he had workers, in 1 years later, how much the payment of the workers in a day by take the $2012, but by take 2012 year as the period of observations. And this is the real questions basically. For example, you have you are business, you have a business, and you are paid your worker $5 in a day, and how much should the payment of your workers in maybe 20 years later? Is it the same with the existing day? Should be different. Look at here. This example is quite simple. Yeah. The CPI here, sisters and brothers, rose by a multiple of 23. Yeah. So has increased 23 times in 100 years. Yeah, from 14 to 2012. So the 2012 equivalence of the 1914 salary would have to be 20 times the 1914 salary. 20 times 33 times 5, 115. So basically this 115 cannot be compared with the price of the 100 years ago. Because basically this 115 even though the nominal is bigger compared to $5 10 years ago, but basically these numbers is equivalence to 100 years ago. So now, if you are the employees, yeah, right now, your employers, yeah, and you have a monthly salary, 1,000 million, 1,000 1 million rupiah, for example, yeah, and 10 years later, you will not be paid 1 million, I guess, because the inflation has increased maybe 10 times, yeah, already 7 times. But in real, your salary remains the same or stay at the same stage, even though the nominal is higher, but actually the real is still the same. So don't be so happy if your raise your salary higher compared to the previous years, because you need to calculate as well to what extent the inflation has increased. Look like right now the governments of Indonesia yearly increases the salary of the civil servants. I think if your parents are civil servants, I think every year or almost 2 years or 3 years, the salary of them increases, and your parents feel happy because nominally the income increases. But you, as the student of economics, should remind them that how much the inflation actually take place. Is it equal with the inflation rate? Yeah. If your salary of your parents only increases 3 times, but the inflation basically increases 5 times, so your salary of your parents is not as high as you expected. Yeah, because the inflation increases is bigger compared to the your salary increase changes. Yeah. The next one. If you know a dollar's amount in year A,
Hello?
what? Yes, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Like
Please.
using these details.
Yeah, please. Yes,
Okay,
please,
using these
brother.
details, can we be able to solve the inflation rate using these details that we have?
Okay, thank you. This one actually tries to inform you about the existing level of price. The CPI basically measure to what extent the price of a particular goods and services have increased gradually. Surely, your answer will be the subsequent slides. So by using the CPI, we can see the rate of inflation. To what extent the cost of living has increased or decreased through the CPI. For example, here, if you know a dollar's amount in year A, what is the equivalent dollar amount in purchasing power in year B? Yeah. So you have a dollars, you have your currency Madiba in Dalais, for example, yeah, in our currency called rupiah here, yeah. To what extent the Dalais and rupiah has increased or decreased in terms of purchasing power? Even though the nominal is there, the nominal does not change every year. Remain the same, 1, 10, 100, 1,000, remain the same nominally. Yeah. But in reality, yeah, you can see this purchasing power through its ability to purchase goods and services. If you have the same money, 1, 10, 100 or 1,000, and you can purchase good or services whereby higher or bigger than previous year or than previous time, it means that your purchasing power of your currency increases. So you can purchase more good by using the same amount of money. And the way around, if you have the same amount of money, but you can get less in terms of goods and services compared to the previous year, it means that your purchasing power of your money degrade or diminish. Yeah. So here is the formula. Year B, okay, let's the example. Here the example, yeah. Here is the formula. If you still not clear about this formula, let me go to the example. Baby Ruth salary. This is the real example. Yeah, example for your life, for your parent life, and my life. Example. CPI in 1931 equal to 15.2, the CPI. And CPI in 2012 equal to 229.5. Therefore, prices rose by a multiple of 229.5 over 15.2. It means that since 1931 until 2012, the price rose almost 15 times. Baby Ruth earned $80,000 in 1931. It happened actually during your parent life, during your grandmother, your grandfather life, whereby they are paid very cheap amount, very lower amount. But if this amount are carried out, yeah, or broke into existing year, how much should be the money earned by them, equivalent with 50 times 80,000. So Baby Ruth earned in 2012, if using the existing CPI, he or she must earn around 1.207.894 dollars. But this amount, actually, sisters and brothers, is equivalent with this. Yeah. So it only increases in terms of the nominal values. But we do not know about the real values. To what extent this money has ability to keep the money, keep the good and services in the value. Yeah. Maybe, even though the nominal here is higher compared to here, maybe the purchasing power of this money is lower compared to this one. I think you can ask your parents how much your parents earned 30 years ago, yeah, and how many goods and services they can pay or they can purchase compared to existing salary that they earn, and they purchase the same goods and services, yeah, which they have purchased 30 years ago. Which one is the getting bigger or lower? If the existing money can purchase lower compared to the previous value, yeah, so the money is the money can purchase lower compared to the previous one. So it does mean that your purchasing power of money decreasing, even though the nominal value increasing. You can see the difference here now. And the way around, if you can see your money can purchase more compared to the previous one, yeah, so it means that your money has higher purchasing power. Yeah. So you have to be careful, sisters and brothers, by looking at your money, your dollars, your rupiah, yeah, or your pounds and others. Yeah, you should be careful. Don't be so happy if you got a lot of money, but you need to ensure that your nominal money be able to purchase the same good and services as the previous years. This is the most important one. Any questions so far, sisters? Interesting discussion actually here. Do you have any discussion, please?
Sir, I want to ask something.
Please.
Uh, so everything is use the best year.
Yeah, correct.
Can we menghitung what?
Calculate.
Yeah, calculate the year before the best year.
Yes. So the location of the base year actually could be in the middle of your data set, could be in the beginning of your data set, or maybe in the end of data set. For example, sisters, you have, you have that time series data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, you have time series data. Yeah. Since 2010 until 2020. Yeah. Once you have observed this data from 2010 until 2020, yeah, you found that the best year, the best year that you can use as the reference year is 2020. Why? Because this 2020 year is considered to be the most stable year among others. It could be, or maybe in the middle, 2015, it could be, or maybe in the beginning from 2010, it could be. So basically, best year or reference years could be dynamic and flexible, sisters. Yeah, it could be in the beginning or in the middle or in the back. Yeah, in the ends. So the most important reason is the best year is the year whereby the rate of inflation is considered to be the lowest and the stable positions. How you know that? Based on the data given by Bank Indonesia. You have to look for the information from Bank Indonesia, from other sources, that this year is the best year to be referred. This one, sisters.
Oh, so the result can be minus, sir.
Yes, it could be. It could be because you see the cost of living not necessarily increases. It could be decreases as well, or maybe stagnates. So if you measure cost of living, it could not necessarily higher time by time. It could be lower or it could be stagnant or the same as before. Okay,
Okay, thank you, sir.
okay, welcome. Okay, another question before we continue. We have around 10 slides more. Okay, I continue. Yeah. Here is the examples only. Yeah. But the index goes to Hollywood here, the example. Yeah. You can just read by your own. Here, the quick check multiple choice. If the consumer price index is 200 in the year of 1980 and 300 today, then $600 in 1980 has the same purchasing power as how much today?
D.
So first of all, you have to see the difference between this one, the CPI of 1980 to existing. Yeah. So the difference here is 300 minus 200. Yeah. Times offer 200. 300 minus 200 offer 200. You got how much?
900D.
Let me see the answer. So as the prices have risen by a multiple of 1.5, yeah, so 300 over 200, you got 1.5. So any amount of $1980 must increase by a multiple of 1.5 in order to have the same purchasing power. So the issue here, sisters and brothers, by the way, is the ability of the money to be equal in terms of the purchasing power. Yeah. So you have to compare between the existing CPI, yeah, and the previous CPI, yeah, and you got 900, yeah. Indexations, yeah. When some dollars amount is automatically corrected for inflation by the law of or contract, the amount is said to be indexed for inflation. Yeah. So the inflation basically is based through the index. Yeah. So the index is the basis to measure the inflation. Yeah. Real and nominal interest rate here, yeah, represent the payment in the future. You will discuss this in detail in the chapter 9, yeah, about the basic tools of finance, yeah, later on, yeah. This is just for information. We have nominal interest rate, we have real interest rate, yeah. Later on we'll discuss. No need to be concerned right now. And here is the example, yeah, real interest rate, nominal interest rate minus inflation. Not to be discussed now. It is just introductions. Introduction only, no need to be discussed now. Yeah, I just want to show you that the inflation actually has a relation with the interest rate. So somehow, if the inflation increases, the interest rate also will increase. This is the behavior, the common behavior. Yeah. The details next, inshallah. Yeah, next 3 weeks. Yeah. And here is the example of real and nominal interest rate. Yeah. And here's just the examples. Yeah. To be discussed and the summary now. Okay, the last one, but the summary, I want to hear the voice of Dani Irfan, please. Dani, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you please read the first until 3 summary?
The consumer price index shows the cost of a basket of goods and services relative to the cost of the same basket the base year. The index is used to measure the overall level of prices in the economy. The percentage change in the CPI measure the inflation rate.
Okay, thank you. The next one, please, Sister Iza Rizki.
I'm sorry, brother.
Oh, yeah, because you don't open your face, brother Rizki Iza. Okay, please, Iza. Yeah.
No problem. Because of measurement problem, the CPI overstates annual inflation by about 1 percentage point.
Okay. The next one, the last one, Sister Carmila, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please read.
Summary, the GDP deflator differs from the CPI because it includes goods and services produced rather than goods and services consumed. In addition, the CPI uses a fixed basket of goods, while the GDP deflator automatically changes the group of goods and services over time as the composition of GDP changes.
Okay, the last one. The last one, Brother Hoyril, please.
Hello, Mister.
Yes, please, Haril. Summary. Dollar.
Summary: dollar figures from different points in the time do not represent a valid comparison of purchasing power. Second, various laws are private contracts. Use price index to correct for the effects of inflation. Third, the real interest rate equals the nominal interest rate minus the rate of inflation.
Okay, sisters and brothers, Alhamdulillah, we have in the end of the sessions. Yeah. So we have discussed just now about the issue of CPI, the inflations, yeah, and also how we calculate and how we compare and contrast with the past or previous years and the future year. Yeah, and I will give you a quiz. Yeah, after this, and I will put it in my class. And the time of the quiz is 1 week. Yeah, the period of 1 week. So I give you very relaxed, yeah, in terms of the time. And don't forget that we will have the test competency 1 next week. Yeah, on the same date. On the same day and time with the today class. And the material covered since the first chapter, so the first meeting until last meeting, today's meeting. Yeah. So please don't forget to prepare yourself. Yeah. And the period of the the exams will be the same time with your class schedule. Yeah, from 3:45 until 5:45, inshallah, next week. Okay, I will put all the material in my class because my class just held to just normal. I'll put already all there and I will inform you and you can just access freely and prepare by your own. Okay, any other discussions before we end the session, please, sisters and brothers?
Yeah. Hello. Well,
Yes.
I'm not added in the Microsoft team account about your course.
Okay, doesn't matter, brother. We will put all the contents in my class because it is just in case of my class does not work. So I put some files in the MS Team. But you can ask from your friends. Brother Rian here can help you to share the file in case you cannot access it, brother, through MS Teams. It doesn't matter actually. So the source remains in my class. Yeah. Okay, that's all for a while, sisters and brothers. Because here in Indonesia, we almost enter the Maghrib prayer. Yeah, 5:30. We end our session today and see you inshallah next week on test competency 1. And I will inform you in details later on. And please keep communicating with your class leader, Brother Rian. Yeah, and I will update you intensively. And hopefully you can prepare the test competency 1 well, sisters and brothers, because it will comprise quite huge portion or weight for your evaluation score. Yeah. Okay, that's all for a while for today's discussions. Thank you very much for your very kind attentions. We end with Hamdulillah together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. See you next week. Thank you for your all attention. Thank you, Madiba, for Africa. Thank you, Brother Abdul. Thank you, Brother Hoiril. Yeah, and all of you. Yeah. See you next week, inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
Keep health and safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.